Salute, Booktube. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. We are well into the first week of May, and I still haven't discussed my May 2026 TBR, what I plan to read for the month of May. Um, the delay is sort of, well, A, I've been a bit busy, but B, um, the war, the Trump Netanyahu war on Iran. I mentioned in my last video that there were sporadic attacks a couple of days ago, 3 days ago now, maybe. Um, that has died down, but or I said in the last video that there hasn't been much retaliation or any further attacks in the last 48, 72 hours. But I spoke too soon because just yesterday the US military, the Air Force, started attacking some targets in Iran and southern Iran on the Persian Gulf, the islands to the south of Iran. So it's not a very promising situation. Uh, Iran has vowed retaliation, and now Iran, of course, their weapons can't reach the United States. So what they do is they attack my country, which is, for those of you who are new, the United Arab Emirates, a small country in the Middle East, not very far from Iran. Because the UAE is a ally of the USA, we have been facing the brunt of the Iranian retaliation. And with these attacks, it's not looking good. It's not looking good, and that is doubly worrying for me because actually, and I need to discuss this because it's going to affect my reading in the next month and a half or so. I am planning towards the end of May to travel. I've got a friend's wedding abroad that I need to travel to, like a destination wedding that I'm planning to travel to 23rd of May. I need to travel. So, but that, those travel plans could be jeopardized if there's any kind of escalation, and the signs are worrying. We're hoping that calmer heads prevail, but we'll see. Let's see. Let's see. And so we'll get to the books. But again, what I did want to say just before we do get into the books is because I'm traveling. I'll be traveling the last week of May and the first couple of weeks of June. That's gonna affect my reading and my my video production schedule. So I don't know. I usually at the end of the month do a reading wrap up video. I just did my last month reading wrap up, and I usually do it at the beginning of the month, as I'm doing now, a TBR video. Um, that might be affected because I'm going to be abroad at the end of the month, at the end of this month, the beginning of next month, June. So what I'm thinking is this TBR video will be a May and June 2026 TBR. I don't know how much reading I'll be able to do on my travels. So I'll probably do reading before I travel, and then when I come back towards the end of the June, continue the reading, and then maybe at the end of the June do a kind of wrap up for the 2 months. That'll mean I can't probably participate in June events. I know there's like June on the Range. There might be other June events on Booktube. I don't think I'll be able to participate in those or participate very late, if at all. But for May, at least, I can, and I'm planning to. And May is, there were fears on the Booktube community that May is a bit slow. There's not that many events. Nobody's hearing about events, but you guys all pulled through, or the booktubers who have channels have pulled through, and a couple of events have come up, and I hope to participate. Actually, three events that I hope to participate in, and so we'll discuss those events with this TBR. In addition to those events, there's the usual kind of other, like the year-long events, Historathon, etc., that I also want to keep on top of. We'll discuss them in turn with the books. The first event, and I should pull that out because I'm going to just forget the names and I don't want to misspeak. There's an event that was created by Summer. created by Summer at Reading with Quaker Cats. The reading event is called In Memory May 2026. Of course, you should check out Summer's channel, and I'll also link to her announcement video. Um, Summer has, well, the event is called In Memory May, and what that denotes is a event in which you read in memory of a person, somebody you have lost, um, that, and you link it to books, if I understand the event correctly. Now, Summer, she's called, her name is Summer. The event is in May. Summer, actually, on her video, inspired me to follow her prompt. Um, she is going to be reading in memory of a great booktuber who we lost at the beginning of this year, Shawn D. Standfast. Those of you who are regulars on my channel know I've been consuming Booktube for maybe a decade, maybe less, maybe 8 years, but a long, long time. I was watching. It's only been a year that I've actually been making videos. But Shawn D. Standfast was one channel that I was following uh, pretty closely. He had very interesting book content. He was an avid reader. He was a prolific YouTuber. Of course, he had his health issues, and it caught up with him. And then in the beginning of this year, sadly, he passed. And that's what Summer's doing. She's reading, I believe she's reading Dracula in memory of Shawn Standfast, because Shawn had mentioned that he's a big fan of Dracula and Bram Stoker in general. For me, actually, when Shawn D. Standfast passed away, I actually had a Booktube channel, and I saw the tribute videos, and I was debating whether to participate, but I ultimately decided not to. I was going to make a tribute video, um, but I decided not to because at the time, this was around January, I was still a relatively new booktuber, and I didn't want to come across as, trying to, clickbaiting off the tragedy of his passing. So I decided not to do it. I didn't feel it was right for me. Although I had been watching him, I was an old fan. I commented on his videos, but I just didn't feel that it was right for me to make a video for, people might assume that I was doing it for clicks or whatever. So I decided not to do it. But Summer has, with her reading event in Memory May, has given me a chance now. To celebrate Sean's life and his reading. So what I thought I'd do now with this TBR is do a short. I don't want this video to go long, but I'm going to do a short tribute video, just to give you just an idea. If you didn't know who Shawn Standfast was, maybe you came to Booktube a bit late. Just give you an idea of his kind of reading. He was an eclectic reader, and I'm not an authority. He had much. Uh, um, Stronger, deeper friends, closer friends than me, and I'm sure if you type Sean Standfast, you'll get tribute videos and understand the kind of the great man that he was. Um, so I thought I'd just make a tribute just to give you an example of some of the books that he used to talk about that he liked, and show you some books, and then from these books, pick one that I'll be reading for the event for In Memory May, which I'm doing like Summer in memory of Shawn D. Standfast. Sean he was Canadian, but he was living in the UK. He passed away in the UK. I remember he had a Q&A, and I wanted to ask him why he left Canada to go to the UK, but I don't know if I did ask, or he got into health issues, and towards the end, his video updating was sporadic. When COVID hit, it really affected him badly because of his pre-existing conditions. He was one of the people who COVID really hurt badly, or affected worse than maybe others. His at the end, his video. Um, um, his video production was a bit slower, But at the time of COVID, he was live, almost live vlogging his battle with COVID, long COVID. And he would open the camera, and it was very educational, what to expect, what he was feeling. Those were non-bookish videos, but he had a lot of bookish videos, and he also at the end was starting to experiment with AI, and it really showed he liked it. His last videos, if you see before his passing, he was doing some really interesting AI, and there was one video he did, and it seems he had it was amazing. He pre-recorded it, and I think he scheduled it to be released in a future date, and then his death was announced, and then a day or two later, his last AI video came out, and everybody was like, "What? What is this some kind of joke? Is he back from the dead?" But unfortunately not. I think it was pre-recorded, and anyway. But Sean had a wide reading remit and a lot of interests. One thing that attracted me to his channel was the um, his early life. He is a trained archaeologist, so a sort of modern day Indiana Jones type figure. And he had mentioned he had done a lot of excavation and archaeological work in Jordan, the Hashemite kingdom of Jordan, an Arab country in the Middle East. And that was one thing that endeared me to his channel. And so I was hooked from there. And as I got to know his channel, his reading, and other tastes in reading uh, came to the fore, and it was just as interesting. So I did want to, in memory of Sean, some of the archaeology type books. These could be candidates for what I would read in memory May for in memory of Sean. One of the books I have here is by Leslie Atkins, and it's called Empires of the Plain. The subtitle is Henry Rawlinson and the Lost Language of Babylon. Now, Sean did his archaeological work in Jordan, and this is mostly about Iraq and Iran, Persia, and ancient Persia and ancient Babylon, modern day Iraq and Iran. And Rawlinson, it says, well, I could read the back cover, but basically, Victorian Victorian figure who deciphered cuneiform. Cuneiform is the language of the ancient Mesopotamians that had been unintelligible and undecoded until Rawlinson came along and cracked the code. Um, and of course, Egypt and Carter and Champollion and the deciphering of hieroglyphics is much more popular in the imagination. But for the decipherment of cuneiform and the Babylonian, Mesopotamian texts, Persian texts, all of that stuff, we have to thank Rawlinson for that. Now again, Sean was. I don't know if he ever went to Iraq or did any work in Iraq, but he did work in Jordan, and I've been to Jordan on a couple of occasions. It's a beautiful country. It's got some very interesting Nabatean or ancient Arabian artifacts. The famous Petra treasury. I don't know if I could edit, I'd put a photo now, but you can, I guess, Google it. Just Google Petra, and you'll see that famous stone carving. Very, very famous. And also, Jordan is famous for its Roman ruins. The capital of Jordan, Amman, has a wonderful Colosseum still intact, still in the downtown of Amman. Of Amman. Very beautiful structure. And also places like Jarash, famous Roman ruins of Jarash, which I was very fortunate to have visited. And actually, recently, speaking of Jordan, if you saw my last video, I read this book. It's Queen Noor, A Leap of Faith, the memoirs of Queen Noor, who was the last wife of King Hussein, the king of Jordan. And, that gives you an indication of the sort of places that Sean experienced on his travels, on his archaeological travels. So the Rawlinson book, this is a contender to be read for In Memory May, in memory of Sean. I've got another book here, but this is much more of a reference book, so I don't know if this is readable. It's much more reference. It says encyclopedia is on the title. It's by Larousse. Okay, Larousse must be the publisher. The general editor is Gilbert Charles Picard. Sounds French. It's the Encyclopedia of Archaeology, and this is a big book, but a bigger sort of. But it's just everything you want to know about archaeology. Something I think Sean would have appreciated. He's probably aware of this, but or was aware of this, sadly. But it's reference, but I found it really cheap, and I just couldn't resist because it's just got photos galore, just pictures and pictures. Try to find something nice. Was this, you know, some of them are black and white. This, some kind of Colosseum. This must be in um, um, the theater of Herodes Atticus before the Restoration. Okay, at the foot of the Acropolis. Okay, I've been there. I've been there, but it was much better, much more, much well preserved or restored than it is in this picture. But is there a color photo? Of course, you've got Egypt. You can't talk about archaeology without Egypt. But um, yeah, just all kinds of things. There was a nice photo of. When I was preparing for this channel, I should have marked the. Anyway, it was a. Let's see if I can quickly find it. I'm not gonna find it's gonna take too long, but it was a Stonehenge. So it's archaeology everywhere, just everywhere, not just the ancient Middle East. But again, I don't know if this is readable. This is more reference, but again, tribute to Sean. I thought I would show it because of his profession, really, his initial profession, which was archaeology. The other thing Sean was famous for. Or enjoyed. I don't know if he was famous for it, but he enjoyed it. Was George Orwell. He was a big fan of George Orwell, and I've read George Orwell and scraps of George Orwell. Nothing sort of conclusive or complete, but just here and there. Animal Farm, you know. What's the other one in Burma? Burma Days, I think it's called. And so Sean was a huge George Orwell fan. And so I thought also, George Orwell reading something, maybe an Orwell novel. I have, and of course Sean encouraged me to get this. I think at the time he wanted to do like a big Orwell event. I don't know if he was able to do it because again his health, etc. But I have this. It's the George Orwell collection. I'm sorry about the grill because this has a plastic. I should have taken it off before. It's still got the plastic covering, but it's I don't know if this is gonna show, but it's a bunch, just a series of George Orwell books. Keep the S. Pedistra Flying. Okay, I had never heard of that one. A Clergyman's Daughter, Coming Up for Air, Burmese Days, Animal Farm, and 1984, and a nice box set. It's still in the plastic. I should have opened it. I apologize. Can I do it quickly, or I'll spare you. We don't wanna keep this going on and on. But another option, because Sean was not just interested in Orwell, he was in Orwell's work. He was also interested in Orwell the man. So I do have a biography too. This one is by DJ Taylor. No idea if this is good or exhaustive or the definitive biography, but it's called Orwell the Life. So that as well is an option. But I do think, because again, as I mentioned earlier on this channel, my May and early June reading is going to be punctured by my travels. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to travel and there won't be any sort of there won't be missiles flying in the skies. But so I'm thinking of picking something short. I do have this, and this is George Orwell nonfiction. I still don't know. I think it's still a debate if his fiction or his nonfiction is better, which one. But this one I think is a work of his nonfiction. It's Down and Out in London, in Paris and London. Nice cover there, a resting cover there. This is a Penguin edition. It's a small book. I think I'm gonna do this for May. I'm not sure if I pick an Orwell book, it'll probably be this because again, my reading days in May and June is short, so I need to pick something that's short. So I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Uh, uh, there was two more subject matters that Sean really loved. One of them was Africa, and he had a big passion, especially for the Zulus, the indigenous the peoples of mostly southern Africa. Although I think his passion was for all of Africa, he especially was interested in the Zulus. Unfortunately, I don't have any books about the Zulus. Particularly, is not really my wheelhouse, I guess we can say, but the closest I could find is this book. Again, I mostly read nonfiction, so most of the books I have are nonfiction, and this one is by Thomas Peckenham, and it's The Boer War. Um, the subtitle is a blurb by J.P. Taylor, famous historian. I think this is an older book about the Boer War, but I have it. I still haven't read it, but Sean was more interested in, I guess, the Zulus, and there was a Zulu war before there was a Boer war, if I'm not mistaken. But it's impossible that the Zulu war is not mentioned in this big, sweeping history of the Boer War. So, again, in memory of Sean, this could be an option. Again, a big one. I don't know if I can commit, especially with uh, a fragmented schedule. But again, in memory of Sean. And then finally, Sean, as well, amongst other, there's other subjects. He was a voracious reader, but these are just some of the main ones that I remember. Was his love of science fiction. He was a big science fiction reader. Now, this is where I am. Regulars of the channel will know science fiction is it's a big X on this channel. It's nothing wrong with science fiction. I haven't delved into it. I never got into it. Although that could change. I should change that. I must change that. So I should get into science fiction. Could the memory of Sean be the kick in the backside that I need to get into science fiction? Possibly again because of the scheduling. I don't know if I want to get in. I don't know if now is the right time, but definitely one day for sure. Now, a lot of people, when Sean initially passed away and the tributes came out, a lot of people, because at the end of his life he was hyping up his boy Clifford D. Simak. Clifford D. Simak was his favorite science fiction author, and he was praising him to the ceiling. And again, I've never read any Simak, but apparently from the science fiction readers amongst us, well-regarded science fiction reader. But I wanted to highlight another author. There was another author earlier in his videos when I first started to follow him. Another science fiction writer that he was bigging up wasn't Simak. It was Isaac Asimov. And I actually have some Isaac Asimov, and I have some Isaac Asimov because of Shawn D. Standfast. He kept talking and talking about him in his videos, and I found a really cheap copy at the bookstore, and I said, oh, wait, Shawn D. Standfast always hypes this guy up. And so this is the foundation. This is the first in a series. And then I found in the same bookstore, and they were cheap, although it's a different edition. There's Asimov. I think this is volume 2 in the series, Second Foundation. And then the third one is Foundation and Empire. Uh, so I don't know. Again, they could be a nominee for in memory May for Shawn D. Stan in memory of Shawn D. Standfast. The only issue again, the punctuated schedule. I don't want to read this and then not read these. If I was gonna commit to reading these, I would want to continue and read. I'd want to read the three back to back. I think if I read one, I might forget, and so I don't know if I can commit to three because of my shortened schedule. Um, but yeah, that is in memory May. I turned it into a tribute to Shawn Standfast, but I think it's appropriate. Maybe I should have made it a separate video, but I don't know. Shall I make this one a separate video and do the TBR, or shall I continue? We're at 24 minutes. I'll try to we'll try to speed it up for the other events and the other books I hope to read in May and June. So because it's 2 months punctuated, maybe this TBR video will go long, but thank you to Summer for this very, very interesting, very exciting event. I will link Summer's channel. I'll link the video of her announcing this event. Please do check her out. And like me or like her, I'm um, doing this inaugural In Memory May in memory of Shawn D Standfast. Um, yeah. The second event that has come to my attention is an event called. Let me take it out, bring it up. I should have done this previously. It's an event. Well, there's actually two concurrent events, and I was debating which one to participate in, but it's got very similar subject matter. One of them is invented was um, um, what's the word? Not invent. What do you do with an event? You announce an event. It was announced and was the brainchild of Paul, the accidental bookseller, and the event is called May Include Music, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna link Paul's video, his video announcing the event. Yeah, it's self-explanatory. You read a book about music, musical books. Um, Now, I'm not the most musical person. I unfortunately never got into playing. I do appreciate music, but I'm not the biggest um, uh, musician. But those of you who have been on my channel for a long time and have been following me for a long time, a lot of the books when I first started this channel, I was saying I need to make space in my library. I wanted to get rid of books. I had quite a few books about bands, musical bands. I read a book, I think it was Keith Richardson, the guitarist of the Rolling Stones. I had a book about what's his name, Paul McCartney of the Beatles. I had a book about Nirvana. I had a book about the band Nirvana, or actually it was the drummer Dave Grohl. I had a bunch of books about music and sort of popular culture and movies as well, actor biographies, and I wanted to read them and get rid of them, and I have. I did read quite a few of them. Uh, there was one. There was one that was. Oh no! Can I? Okay, I have it. Sorry. There was one that stayed that I still haven't read. From those sort of because I didn't really enjoy those kind of band sort of memoirs. It's just like pages after pages of you know doing drugs basically. But and the other reason I didn't enjoy it was things like the Rolling Stones or the Beatles before my time. I wasn't really invested in it. I'm not that old, but uh, um, I do have this, and this one is definitely much more recent. It's Anthony Kiedis with Larry Sloman, and Anthony Kiedis is the lead singer of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is Scar Tissue. So the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I do remember. I think they blew up in the late '80s, and they had a very catchy song in the late '80s that was very reminiscent of the Flintstones, and so even young children, and I was a young child in the late '80s. Uh, you know, the Red Hot Chili Peppers was ingrained in the mind. But then in the '90s, they also released they sort of had a revival, and they released a couple more um, very popular hits albums. So for music, what is it? What's the event called? May Include Music. This is a possibility. Um, some other possibilities. I have this book, but this is much more of a travel writing book. I think more than a musical book, but it's got a musical instrument in the title. It's The Lost Pianos of Siberia, and it's by Sophie Roberts. And I think this is just Sophie Roberts traveling through Siberia. And I mean, I could read the back cover, but it's I don't know how she ties it in with piano and the importance of piano in Russia, in the Russian culture. just a prolific piano playing nation and classical music producing society. It's a possibility. We'll see. We'll see. Um, and then I've got two others also, from my library that I don't know if they should stay. I should read them and get rid of them because I do need space. One of them, I've shown this before on the channel, and this is definitely a contender. It's by J. Randy Taro Borelli, Michael Jackson. The subtitle is The Magic, the Madness, the Whole Story, just a big biography of Michael Jackson. I think as I'm recording we're in May, early May 2026. There's a new biopic of Michael Jackson starring his nephew, if I'm not mistaken. His nephew plays Michael Jackson in the film. I want to see the film, but my friend was like, no, it's been getting bad reviews. It's not worth it. So I don't know. Has anybody seen it? Is it worth watching? But it might be a good idea to read this and then watch the movie. And with may include music, the event. It's possible. It's possible that I read this. Actually, I should, before I continue, say may include music is Paul's event. There is another Booktube event that has a very similar subject. It's very similar. The other one is called the Sound of May book tag. The Sound of May, the Sound of May event, reading event. Very similar. Read about music. So I don't know. The Sound of May is created by a channel. I didn't record his name. He's a new booktuber. I apologize if I'm gonna tag you. I know where to find your name. It starts with a P. I will tag it. I'll tag his channel. I'll link his channel in his announcement video. The event is called The Sound of May. Very similar, just very similar. So it's just two events, same subject matter, music, books about music. So, and I do know that there's a Sound of May book tag going around. I'm a bit behind in my booktube watching videos. I know there's a tag going around. I'm not sure if I have been tagged yet, but if I'm gonna do this event, uh, maybe I'll do the tag in another video. But yeah, so two music events. The Sound of May and may include music. So I'll link both. I'll mention both. You can participate in either or both if you want. The other musical, this is another possibility. The same author as the Michael Jackson biography, J. Randy Taro Borelli. This one is Madonna. Sorry, it's a used book, but it's in a plastic. Is it used? I bought it in a used bookstore. I think in Thailand, of all places. But, an intimate biography of an icon. There, there she is. I think another photo of Madonna. This is a possibility. We'll see. Those are the piles of possibility. I'll choose one of them, and you'll know in due course which one I eventually read. Again, probably pick the shortest one because of my reading schedule. The nature, the travel plans I have, which I hope do come to fruition. Uh, so that's um, may include music slash the Sound of May booktube event. That's the second booktube event I hope to participate for in May. Um, there is a third event in May also that I would like to participate in. And typical me, I didn't. Did I? Okay, I did. The event is called Military May. The hashtag is hashtag Military May. There's another hashtag Military May 2026. Both of them are valid. And this event was created by a channel called 2 Minutes on Books. Her name is Patrice. I'm gonna link to her channel and to her announcement video. She released an announcement video, then she released an update. Her videos are short and succinct, unlike mine, which go horrendously long. But she did she's the founder of the event, the founder, I guess, the initiator of the event. So I'll link her channel, um, and what is Military May? Uh, Military May is basically, it's pretty self-explanatory. You read books about the military. Now, Patrice, who created this event, is she's an American, um, so it sort of has an American. Well, no, actually, it doesn't. You can read because there's prompts. There's 4 prompts, and I don't have the prompts listed. Maybe I'll list it if I remember to do so in the description. Um, what the prompts are, but you don't really have to follow it. I'm not gonna. I don't know how strictly I'm gonna follow the prompts, but I do hope to read at least one sort of military book, and I can say that I participated. Again, I'm not explaining the event very well. I do encourage you to check out Patrice's channel, 2 minutes on books, and she'll give you a much better explanation in very short videos, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, under 10 minutes, but a good channel. Definitely check out. I was happy to find it. I actually found it through Bill Rutenberg and Peg at the History Shelf, and they're also participating in Military May because they're very prolific military history readers. So if I do remember, I'll mention their channels as well. But so the event is Military May. Now, you know me, I like to combine. I like to combine events. So what I'm thinking is, I mentioned it. We're in the middle of Historathon, and we're in the second quarter of Historathon, which is reading books about history from the year 500 to the year 1500. Now, I know Patrice, 2 minutes of books. I think they were discussing more modern military, but for me, I'm going to consider this book, The Crusades, Thomas Asbridge. So this will if this is relevant, or if it qualifies, then I think this will kill 2 birds with 1 stone. The Crusades was definitely a military engagement. You can see that right there. Um, and it covers Historathon for me. Now this is a big book, so what is today? What are we? May 8th, and I'm traveling on May 23rd, and I'm not gonna travel with this. I'm not gonna pack this in my bag. So I don't know. I have 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, to try to finish all of this. We'll see. Let's see. If I do commit, I don't want to start and then pause, travel, come back. Or maybe there's a good like midpoint that I could stop at and then come back, but I don't typically like to do that. So this is a contender for Military May and Historathon. There are other books that are Crusade related, Historathon related, and I think they do qualify for Military May. I've got, this is Jonathan Phillips' The Life and Legend of the Sultan Saladin. It's a biography of Salah ad-Din Saladin, the great crusading leader on the Saracen or Muslim side. I have this older book. This is an inheritance from my grandfather's library. You can see my grandfather's Arabic writing right there, his notes. He's sadly passed away. I was gonna say it's a good my grandfather for Memory May, but maybe next year. Let's see. The cover is blank. It's a very old book, but it's Saladin, the Fall of the Kingdom of Saladin and the Fall of the Kingdom of Jerusalem by Stanley Lane Poole, M.A. So that's could qualify. And then I've got 2 books. I've shown these before. This is Roger Crowley's The Accursed Tower, The Crusades, Last Battle for the Holy Land, and on the same subject by a different author, John D. Hosler, The Siege of Acre, or Akka in Arabic, 1189 to 1191. Saladin, Richard the Lionheart, and the battle that decided the Third Crusade. So I'll choose one of these. I prefer to read these 2 together. They're both shorter books, but I prefer to read them at the same time. Compare and contrast. That's one option, but I really also do want to get to this, so maybe I'll like really hone in on this and try to finish it in half a month. We'll see. So that's Military May as well as Historathon. And now, come to think of it, there's the Boer War book could also be Military May. This qualifies as well. It's just another example, but probably Orwell's Homage to Catalonia qualifies as well, but I'm not sure, and I don't think I have a copy. So So those were the three events, and I'll put all the descriptions below. I'll try to timestamp this because it's going long. Um, uh, in memory May, um, uh, the sound of May, and May include music. Two events that are very similar, and then military May. So and also my which I'm combining with Historathon. What is left to discuss? There's my personal reading project, which is America at 250. 2026 is the 250th anniversary of the United States, so I have been spending the whole year reading books about America, mostly nonfiction, um, mostly, well, I hope to read histories in the second half of 2026. In the first half of 2026, I've been reading a lot of contemporary American books about contemporary America, American politics, economics, that sort of thing. I've got three books that I do want to read before July, so maybe one of them I can do now in May. I've got this book, Columbine, which is the story of the tragic high school shooting in 1999, Columbine, Colorado. And the author is David Cullen. Um, that's one option. The second option is this. It's by Jessica Bruder. It's called Nomadland. Also, I think quite popular. And it's now a major motion picture. But this is, of course, it's from 2017, so almost a decade old. And I've got this book as well, which is I find it fascinating. It's by Colin Woodward, and it's called American Nations. The subtitle is A History of the 11 Rival Regional Cultures of North America. And you can see I don't know if you can see on the map, again, apologies for any glare, but they've divided America into different regions. So you've got New France, okay, that's probably for Canada, Yankeedom, which is probably New England, Greater Appalachia, the Deep South, El Norte, the Far West, the Left Coast, the Midlands, just yeah, different regions of America and how they're different, I guess, and probably how they're similar as well. It's an interesting premise. So for May, maybe I can for May and June, I guess I need to choose one. So I'll keep you updated and informed what I eventually do decide to read from them. There's one more event, one more, I promise. That's the Jeff. Jeff reads books. Jeff has a book club. It's called the Slow Burn Through History. I'll link his channel. You should check it out. Maybe if I remember, I'll link the announcement video. We read the Slow Burn Through History encourages reading histories, large histories, but reading them very slowly, hence the title or the name of the book club. Slow burn through history. We read it very slowly. So for the first 3 or 4 months of 2026, we were reading, do I have it close by? McPherson's The Battle Cry of Freedom, about the U.S. Civil War. This doesn't really fit Historathon, but this is Jeff's book club, so I'm participating and going with his recommendations or what he chooses. They had a vote, and the next book we're going to read is this. Oh no, sorry about the glare. Rick Atkinson, The British Are Coming. This is my Kindle version that I have. The War from America, Lexington to Princeton, 1775 to 1777. And this is volume 1 of a trilogy, so but we're only going to read volume 1. I don't know if the plan is to read the trilogy, because it'll take us the whole year. Because again, you could read this quicker, but it's the slow burn. This will be good if I'm traveling, because this iPad will come with me on my travels, I hope, and I can read this on my travels, and it's a slow read. So and this also qualifies for military. This also qualifies for military May. So again, perhaps I'll read it. Is there anything else? There's one more, which is my other personal reading project, which is Russian Lit 2026, where I am pushing myself to read Russian literature in 2026, Russian fiction. So I've been at it but I don't have any suggestions. What I was supposed to read in April, and I never got around to it because of the situation. And this also might, although this is fiction, could qualify for military May. But anyway, it's War and Peace, Leo Tolstoy. But this is, I can't, not with the schedule, and this isn't the book I think you want to. It's not a book you want to puncture. You want to read it. I don't think you want to read it, stop and go on. I don't want to. I'm not traveling with this, carrying this around with me. No, no way. So, I don't know what to read for Russian Lit 2026. Maybe you have suggestions. Please do leave it in the comments. But if there is a suggestion, please something short, because I do have a lot, and like I said, I have my traveling. Again, war permitting. I do have my travel plans, so the shorter the better if you are going to recommend something that is Russian, preferably fiction, and preferably short. If you have any suggestions, I'll keep them. I'll keep them in mind. But yeah, that's pretty much my TBR. Again, that's not everything. That was a pile of possibilities. I'm probably going to choose one from each event and then just stick to that and then see how I can do it. See when I'll do my wrap up video. Will I do it before I travel? Maybe I'll do a part one before I travel, and then in June do a part two. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But until then, Booktube, thank you very much if you've made it this far in the video. Please, there's going to be I mentioned a plethora of channels. Please do check them out in the video description, and specifically with regards to Shawn D Standfast, I'm gonna link his channel as well. Now Shawn he's passed away. However, Shawn's channel is still up. Shawn is still alive, and Shawn was a prolific booktuber. He has thousands and thousands of, maybe he has 2,000. I don't check how many videos he has, but he has a lot. He will cover you for a good decade of booktube. So do subscribe to Shawn Standfast, although he's not with us anymore. And that's one of the pleasures of booktube. Even after we're gone, I mean, considering Google Corporation doesn't eliminate our content, the channel is still there. So Shawn is no longer with us, but you still check out his channel. You should still subscribe, and you should still watch his videos. Why not? I don't see why not. So yeah, so please do that and keep him in your thoughts, even if he's no longer with us. But yeah, with that, booktube, thank you very much for staying this long, and happy May reading. Salute, booktube.